So yeah, bro, you ready?
Yep, ready.
All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Justin Needs a Hobby. I'm Justin. This is the podcast about hobbies. I'm trying to get adults to pick up hobbies again and stop focusing so much on working and stressing out, and just trying to get people to really pick up new things. And today I got a good dude with me today. This is my boy Rich. I'll let him introduce himself to you real quick.
Hey guys, my name's Rich Hobaugh. I'm a local athlete. I'm sponsored by 8 Beer, and I'm here to tell you guys about a little bit of running today.
Yes, sir. We're gonna be talking about running, man. Something that a lot of us hate doing. But hopefully Rich will change our minds about running a little bit.
Absolutely. Running is something that is hard to do. I know that I struggle with it sometimes as well, being a runner. So I'm looking forward to hopefully pushing some people in the right direction today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just a little background on how I met Rich. I went to the gym one day and I was waiting on my friend, and my friend was super late getting to the gym, man. So I was just waiting in front of the gym, and Rich was working, and I noticed that he was standing the whole time that I was there, and because I was up in the front of there waiting at least for like 30 minutes. Because that's how late my friend was. But I was like, man, and I noticed there wasn't any chair there. And I was like, bro, man, your feet aren't getting tired or anything? And he was like, yeah, so I actually just got done running 120 miles in the last 24 or 48 hours. I was like, wait, what? I thought I heard him say that. But I was like, maybe he's talking about driving. Maybe he said driving or something like that. But no, this man really meant running. So we're gonna get into all of that. You know what I mean? So let's just start with a little bit of background as to who you are, what you do. If you just give us a little rundown.
Absolutely.
Of Rich real quick.
So just a little quick rundown. I was a paratrooper in the United States Army. I'm also dual serviced in the United States Marine Corps. That's kind of where I fell in love with running, because obviously they whoop your ass with it all the time. They're like, hey, guess what? You're going on a run today. And you're like, oh, wow, I guess I'm going on a run today. So after that, I got out of the military. I also have worked out for over 10 to 15 years before the military. But I really had found a drive and coaching. So I started personal training and doing CrossFit. Fast forward to 2019, I actually had my hand be rebuilt. I was the top 300 CrossFit athlete in the world. I was about to go into the CrossFit Games, and I was training with a coach, and my hand was actually severed from metacarpal 4 and metacarpal 5. They were completely shattered, as well as severed from the wrist. So they had to rebuild the hand, and they had to have rods in it for 2 months. During this process, I had to find a way to possibly do something that was super active and wanted to stay competitive, because as an individual that was ex-military, I couldn't see myself just sitting around and dwelling on a cast on my arm.
Real quick, what happened to your hand, dog?
During 2019 in Fort Worth, there were some riots, and there were a lot of police officers that were improperly handling humans. And I went to stand for those humans, and I struck a police officer, and my hand had to be rebuilt from hitting them in the face.
Wow.
I also had to serve a night in jail. That's probably the bad part of the story, but I do feel like I was doing justice, because at that time, as we all know in 2019, that police force were in a bad spot, and I'm ex-military, so I have all fucking right to say so, that there are individuals that aren't doing the right thing, and they do need to be stood up to. And so that's what I went to do. Yes, again, it may not have been the best decision in some individuals' eyes, but for me, I was standing up for my people and where I came from. So I did what I had to do, and as I did that, I just talked to God a lot and was like, what am I gonna do to continue to be a professional athlete? Because my one goal coming out of the military was to, one, be a hard worker, and two, make sure that I was still staying athletic. So the way I did that was, in this process, while I'm having my hand like rebuilt, I started my own personal training business. And I told myself that no matter what, I wasn't going to give up on myself. So I literally started a garage gym in Fort Worth, had a cast on my wrist. I still have videos to this day of squatting 315 pounds with no hands. There is actually so many people that saw this.
Wait, no hands, like not like without holding it.
Absolutely,
just
with no hands.
Just sitting on your back.
Absolutely. And there's actually proof of videos of me with 275 pounds standing on a Bosu ball with no hands and squatting 2 times. There's leg press videos of over 1,200 pounds at 176 pounds body mass. I really wanted to find myself as a human whenever I broke my hand, which is weird because a lot of the times, like when stuff like that happens in our life, we just want to get comfortable, right? Like we get told by the doctor, I'm not joking you, this doctor told me straight up, you'll never lift weights again. And I can tell you right now, there was someone in that office that is still one of my crew chiefs and one of my best friends, Miss Michelle Karpakenko. She's the fucking best lady in the world. She can tell you right now that as I got out of there, I looked him in the eyes and told him he was wrong, that I'd be lifting weights again. And to this day, I can hang clean over 315 pounds after my hand had to be rebuilt. So just mind you, where I'm going with that, guys, is do not ever let any human in the world, whatever education level they have, tell you that you can't do something. Because in life, if you put your mind to it, whether it be running, whether it be lifting, or whether it be doing great at your job, being great for your kids, any of that stuff, you can fucking do it. There's not a single person in this world, there's not a failure that you can ever do that will make you. Everything you do the day after that is what's going to make you, not what you did in the past. So remember that shit, because I can tell you right now, there's no injury and there's nothing that's going to happen to you in your life that's going to hold you back. You can keep moving forward. So remember that. Now I'm going to continue to tell you a little bit more about the run.
Wait, hold on. I'm about to go run through a wall real quick because, man, dang. Hey, yo, like you coming in hot. Hey, but not to cut you off, but I'm like, bro, that was motivating, bro. But not to cut you off, but keep going, man.
No, that's super, super true. And I didn't want to get too sidetracked. But again, so as I started running, I was actually lifting weights. I was squatting 315 pounds. Like I had this drive to want to get back to the CrossFit Games. And I shit you not, I herniated a disc in my neck from squatting over 300 pounds with no hands. When you support weight with your neck right here, you actually cause the cervical spine to be pushed in. And when that spine is pushed in and down, you cause a downward pressure that will actually herniate the disc. So 3 months after getting my cast off, a doctor sits me down. He sticks a needle in my spine and tells me, look, bro, you're probably not going to be able to be an athlete again. Cool. The next day, I talked to God, went out on a jog, did a 3-mile jog. Literally the day after, I had a spinal injection after I was laying in a bed for 2 weeks and couldn't even move. I was scraping food into my mouth, laying on the side of a bed. Again, do not ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because I got up the next day and I went for a jog and I talked to God. And if you really have a understanding of spiritual powers, there are things that our bodies can heal better than we can ever imagine. And it's not about us, it's about the willpower. And what I did is I just asked for the proper knowledge and power that it would take to be able to be recovered. And he asked me to stop lifting heavy, stop putting weight on my neck, and to go on runs. Decompress your body. So I fell in love with running. I lived on a golf course. There was a 4-mile loop around this thing, and nothing made me feel more powerful, because you'd be running by the highway. I'd be racing fucking cars. I'd be trying to beat these cars down the hill. I'm just like, oh, and then when I'm by the golf course, well, there's these, really high class rich people. And again, mind you, I don't come from necessarily that type of background. So I want to look professional when I'm running past them. So I put on a good stride and a professional Olympian look. And I have people come up to me and ask me, wow, what do you do? And I'm just like, I'm a nobody at this point in my career. And mind you, that's where everyone starts, is someone telling them they're nobody. And it's all about finding that drive inside of you and knowing, no, God has something for me. None of y'all can tell me nothing. And so I kept running and running and running. I was like Forrest fucking Gump out there, baby. I was like, I'm going to put on the miles and I'm going to keep on getting my mind stronger. As I'm developing my business, mind you, again, I'm trying to develop my professional athletics as well as develop a professional business model. While I'm doing all this, I am also working for another company to make money because, as we all know, startup businesses aren't very profitable, right? So I'm juggling basically 3 professional jobs at one time and trying to manage also having a social life, which didn't happen, which is okay. But as I was doing that, after 6 months of working for this personal training company that I was helping learn and establish my business while I was building mine, I learned that, like, okay, I can move to Dallas and I can start I can fucking do this. I finally pulled the trigger. So I moved to Dallas. I did everything on my own. I LLC'd. And right as I was doing that, I told myself, you know what? That's not the limit. I'm going to go run 50 miles. Now, let me just tell you guys, I have never ran more than 13 miles at the time. But
Which is a lot. That's crazy. Like, let's not like act like 13 miles is nothing, bro. Like 13, like most people will never run 13 miles. I've never ran 13 miles, bro. Like never. Like that's a lot.
It's true.
So to say, so to jump from like 13, all of a sudden be like, yo, I'm gonna just run like 50. Like that's wild, bro. Like that's wild.
It is. And what will probably make you laugh even more is when I tell you that the last 11 and a half miles, again, Miss Michelle would be able to vouch for this, I put on a 25-pound combat vest on the end of that 50-mile race because I was going to carry the load for my individuals that weren't able to make it home with me whenever I came home. And so it's a powerful feeling that the last 12 miles, even though I had never ran that far in my entire life, had no idea if I could even do it. When I tell you God is a powerful individual, I know we all believe that, it just really showed me like, wow, like when you really, really, really believe in what he has for you, man, he will take you to the sky. And again,
I love that. I love that, bro. I love that. Like you keep incorporating God into this. I love God too, and mine too, bro. I see you over there, bro.
Yes,
we three God loving, God fearing people, bro. And like I definitely feel. I understand that there are people who are listening who might be atheists or whatever, but like. I mean, to each their own, but like I personally love the fact that you continue to bring up God and all of this, and I appreciate that, and I feel like that needs to be called out because I think that's very important. And I agree with everything you're saying, bro. Like anything is possible with God. So yeah.
No, and that's so amazing because I to this day pray for every single meal. I've done it for over 15 years. There's just nothing more powerful than knowing that you have a connection with an individual that'll never give up on you. And in this life, we always need something that's unconditional. And in that run, in that 50-mile run, I found something super unconditional. I found that there's nobody that's ever going to love me as much as me, myself, and God. And there's nothing that can ever give me as much as I can give myself as me, myself, and God. And that's
Are you a pastor, bro? Because, man, like, you dropping gems, bro. You might need to get up on a pulpit, bro.
I actually, before I went into the United States military, I worked on becoming a deacon and actually got to speak in front of a church for the first time ever in my life. The day before I deployed for the United States military. So I do one day do want to spend some time in ministry and do want to be a pastor for young kids because I know what I had to deal with when I was a young kid, and like that's where I was saved. And that's what gave me my like full belief, and so I do see a future in that as well. So after as I'm building my personal training business model, I want to have what it's called a personal training academy, where I'm teaching not only people how to be personal trainers, but it's an academy and a school that teaches Christianity and things like that of veterans that may come out of the service and may need help. I want to be able to provide these services to these individuals with my business whenever I get to that level. Again, I'm only 29 and I'm trying to grow. So I'm just constantly just taking all the breadcrumbs that God gives me on a daily basis to hopefully get the knowledge and power that I need to give the individuals the knowledge and power they need to become better individuals too.
Nice, man. That's dope.
So that's the 50 mile, and that was in 2019. Now, The other funny story, and I don't like to add, I'm not one of those people, but I just feel like everything should be mentioned. That was also in February, the day that we had 20-degree weather and the grids all shut down. So I actually ran 50 miles in what they would call the Arctic freeze of
Bro,
Texas.
it was cold as hell that day, bro. like that. It was cold. I was living out here when that happened, bro. It was cold. You did that
It was so extreme.
in the ice too, bro.
Yeah, it was actually
What?
icing on me, and it got so bad that as soon as we finished the race, normally you're supposed to recover. Me and my crew, Miss Michelle, we had to literally get in the car, and basically we laid me down in the back of a Honda Pilot and threw full-size bags of ice on my legs, and we had to drive back to Dallas. The ice storm was literally hitting, and we would have been stuck in a tent in Huntsville, Texas, for a week in that winter storm had I had not finished in the time that I'd finished, because the minute we made it to Dallas was the minute that it literally made it to where no one could drive. And that was God.
Wow.
And that's when I
Yes,
knew
sir.
that there was a spiritual power that was with me on that 50-mile run. And that I knew that there was something in calling me. So fast forward to August in 2019, I was like, I'm sorry, 2020, super sorry. August 2020, this was last year. 2021, I'm super sorry. 2021, 100-mile race, the Habanero 100. Now, mind you,
That sound hot.
I was incorrect on dates. The 50-mile race was in the same year. I purposely scheduled these races in the same year to be able to do the hottest race in Texas and the coldest race in Texas, because I wanted to mentally and physically test myself to its fullest capability. And the only way to do that is at the coldest temperatures and the hottest temperatures.
Yeah. And real quick, let me just give some background to people who are listening who don't live in Dallas, Texas. So first of all, this ice storm he's talking about, like that was like national news. It doesn't get cold like that down here. That was the coldest that it had been, I think, in like 50 plus years or something like that.
No, 100% correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that was like the first time that it had like got like that like snow, and like that was like actually only the second year that I had lived in Dallas, and I remember being pissed off because I moved down here from the Midwest to get away from those situations, bro. And I was like, bro, this is my second winter of living here, and like not only is it cold, like they not even prepared for this down here. Like when I say the city was shut down, bro, like it was shut down. There was no electricity. Your food went bad. There were no places to go get food because there was no electricity, and people could not get around to even get to their jobs because like the streets were iced out. People couldn't get around. People don't know how to drive down here even without snow. So imagine people trying to drive around with snow. It was wild. And then another thing to give you background on, he said he did the Habanero
100. It's called the
Habanero 100 in August. August is probably the hottest month in Dallas. Like it, for whatever reason, August is like straight. Like you feel like you're in a desert, bro.
And just to also help him, I was in South Texas, which is actually
South
6 degrees hotter than Dallas. So on top of you guys possibly already knowing the possibilities of the heat of Dallas, this is in Cat Springs, Texas, which is right above College Station area. And it's literally a sandy area, so that also implements a little bit of heat. So it's about 6 degrees hotter down there as well. On top, you already know how Dallas is. So and I'm not to. It's not about. Yeah, and the actual average temperature of the Habanero 100 was 108 degrees. There were 3 people that had to actually be care flighted from that race.
Lord.
And to tell a little story on that one, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, let's just do a shot. We got these shots here of this Lobo. He asked specifically for this, what's it called, Lobo's tequila.
Yeah.
Juan, you got your one? Come on, Juan. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Gotta partake in this situation.
Yes, sir. Come on.
108 ain't no joke.
108, bro.
108 was hot. So to tell a little
100
story
miles. Oof.
on that, this race is actually set up particularly for failure. The race director actually puts on his website, if you can finish it in this certain amount of time, he's going to give you your money back. That's how harsh these conditions are. These people start this race at 12 p.m. Everybody here knows that Texas at 12 p.m. is peak heat. Every individual, everyone knows that. This guy specifically starts his race at 12 p.m. so that you start in peak heat. You're pushing out minerals, nutrients the moment you start. This race possibly challenged me to the furthest I've ever been challenged in my whole entire career. I've been in the United States military, I've been in special operations training, I've been in a lot of different areas, but nothing's ever pushed me to this limit. And let me tell you the reason why. At mile 30, I started throwing up green alien throw up. Now, let me tell you what that means. That means rhabdomyosis. Rhabdomyosis is an extremely rare condition, and it can be extremely deathly ill, and it can kill you. And I'm not just saying that. Rhabdomyosis is super serious and rare. You can look it up. It's where your protein and your blood mix, and it starts to come out of the urine, and you literally pee out blood and you die. It is not a joking condition.
Yeah. I know. I've heard of that because I come from a bodybuilding background. I did that for a while, and I had a friend who actually had rhabdomyosis, and he was in the ER for several days because of it. And he's like, a super healthy, super in shape guy. He's a bodybuilder, and it's no joke. It's serious stuff. And you got this at mile 30.
Mile 30.
Mile 30. Still 70 miles
to go. With the heat, right? Now, mind you, we're not in the AC running on a treadmill in AC. So rhabdomyosis is a condition where you're basically can't cool down your body. I was able to hide in the woods for 20 minutes, eat enough salt and water. Mind you, I don't even really know what I was doing. God was telling me what to do. I was just taking these advice that I really can't tell you where it came from. 30 minutes later, I was able to get up and start moving at least. At the time, I couldn't move because literally my stomach was locked up. I get up, start moving. All of a sudden, I'm at mile 40 and I'm at mile 50, and I'm like, okay, maybe something's okay. Now, mind you, at this time, it gets to mile 60. The race director is making jokes. You're already behind. You're not going to make it. Also, this was actually, again, when I say it pushed me to the limits, I had no skin on the back of my heels, and I had no skins on the insides of my thighs. I was bleeding from areas I had never bled from before in my whole entire life. And this guy looked at me and told me I wasn't going to make it, and I fucking smiled and laughed, and I said, boy, you talking to the wrong young man, sir, because I have God inside me. And I knew when he told me that I wasn't going to cross that finish line in time, that I was going to do everything in my willpower to get to that fininis line.
Yo, so wait, real quick. The back of your heels was
Gone.
Was gone, but all right. So were you running wrong then? Or because they say you're supposed to run the balls of your feet.
The heels were gone because you're so sweaty. You're literally wet from mile 1 to mile 60. And can you imagine your heels being wet in a pair of shoes for 60 miles?
Oh yeah.
You can be running perfect. Your feet are wet for 60 miles, and sand and dirt is getting inside of them.
Okay.
So it was a 10-mile track, and 5 of the 10 miles were all sand uphills.
Okay, this was not flat land.
No, sir. This was a sand hill ranch.
No, and sand, bro.
Yep. It was hot. It was rough. So I sit in my chair. I will tell you that at mile 65, I did ask myself, what the fuck am I doing right now? I really did. That's just pure vulnerability and honesty. I looked at myself. I was like, do I really want to go 35 more miles, right? I'm already, first off, 15 miles further than I've ever ran in my entire life, mind you. Number 2, I'm in the hottest conditions I've ever been in my entire life. And number 3, I'm bleeding from areas I've never bled from before in my life. You should be content not this fucking guy. I was like, I guess I'm going to get up and keep going. Because this guy looked me in the eye and said, I can't make it. Whew, man, I'll tell you right now, just like I told you guys earlier, when somebody tells you can't make it, that should make you hungry. That should fuel your fire. That should tell you that they are scared of you. Because when they tell you can't do it, they are scared of what you're bringing. And I can tell you that.
You dropping gems, bro.
It's true.
Wow, you something else.
And so I get up and I go. And at about mile 85, I get this energy. I'm bleeding from everywhere, but there's nothing gonna stop me from getting this next 15 miles because now I have sped up so fast that I'm on track. This race director can't even fucking believe it. He is telling my crew, did you guys give him drugs or something? Because this guy, how did he pick up his pace like that? The Lord Jesus Christ, because he knew that I was there for a reason. I was raising money, and I also have a sibling that passed away of cancer and that I've always ran for her. She passed away when she was 13 years old, and to this day she is my wings and I'm her feet, and I carry myself for her at every time. And whenever I got to that point at 85 miles, I just had this high that I could not get rid of. My feet were hurting, my body was hurting, but I knew I'm getting to that finish line. I managed to be one of 24 individuals that finished the race out of 125 individuals that started. I was also not last place. I was able to finish second to last, which isn't terrible. I mean, come on, I was in the conditions that most individuals would have went home.
Yeah.
But I taught myself something mentally because even though all that pain and everything I went through, God healed me in 7 days because as we have learned as life and humans is that no matter what pain we go through, when you do it through God and you do it the right way, he's going to heal you at the end of the tunnel. And there's always going to be that. The only way you're going to get to the finish line is through trial and tribulation. It ain't going to be easy, whether it's your job, whether it's your regular life, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your personal life. It doesn't matter what it is in life. It's never going to be easy. If it is, easy come, easy go. That's what I've learned in life. And if it's going to come easy to you, it's going to go away easy. And the one thing I learned in that 100-mile race is that was the hardest thing I'd ever went through. 2 months later, I had a contract and I was a sponsored athlete by a beer company. Not because of the run, but because I was able to put myself out there. I finally picked up the phone and called somebody and said, hey, there's a strong power in me. And that's what taught me that was being by myself, running, mind you, for 100 miles. Didn't listen to one song. Didn't listen to one podcast. I didn't listen to one motivational speech. I listened to the Lord Jesus Christ and what he pumped into my heart and what he had for me. And that's all it takes. So don't ever think that you need all these outsources, all this stuff to make you successful. All you need is your willpower, your mindset, and Lord, and he will take you anywhere you want to go. Anywhere.
Dang, man, that's wild, bro. All right, so let's fast forward to, in the interest of time, let's fast forward to this most recent race because you told me something that was dope, like you broke a record.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. And you also told me some things that you had to go through during that when you could barely, when I first met you and you could barely stand up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bro, like y'all don't understand. Like this man, like even though he had a smile on his face, he looked like $1,000,000. He's a handsome guy. You know what I'm saying? He looked like $1,000,000. He was, you know what I'm saying? He was working. You know what I'm saying? He was standing up. But I could tell that like he was tired.
I was tired. I was still tired.
Yeah.
He saw me less than 24 hours from the time that I crossed the finish line of my 120-mile race that I just completed 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I set a record in Dallas County for the furthest amount of miles ever ran in 100-degree weather. I ran 120 miles in 43 hours, and I was able to do it in all this heat of this sun. It was a record set. The most that had ever been ran before was 75 miles. I was able to surpass that by over 55 miles. Go ahead.
We go, first of all, me and Juan gonna give you a little. I don't want to do it right on the mic, so I'm gonna do it over here. And then, yeah, come on, Juan. You read my mind, bro. We gonna do a shot to that.
Second of all, man.
Yes, sir, bro.
Respect, bro.
Come on.
Let's get it.
Like, nah, that's so impressive, bro. In a way, because when you told me about it, it was like you said it so nonchalant. Like that, like you don't think you know how much you blew my mind that day. That like, if it's like, bro, that's yours, bro. Like you get the bigger shot, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Bro, here, bro. No, like, bro, like here.
We gonna all get
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We
Teamwork.
go like, bro.
I will say, even to this day, because I try to be like I really am a very humble person. I do try to realize what I did, because I did do something that, like, literally people in my whole entire life, bro, from the moment that I grew up, they never thought I'd be where I'm at, bro. Like, my mother gave me up when I was 12 years old. My father gave me up, like all these things. But like, bro, like if we just put this thing right here to it, and we got God, because God's the only father we need at the end of the day. And like, if we know that like we have something powerful for us, we can do anything. And like, it is a great record. But one thing that I want to cheers to on this is we're gonna set a bigger record.
Woo! You heard it here first. You heard it here first, bro. Bro, like, I was just so impressed, because it was like the fact that you were working, and it wasn't like you was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took a while for me to be up there and to be talking to you, for you to even bring that up. Like, if I wouldn't have brought up the fact that there was no chair, like, you wouldn't have even told me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, me, let that have been me. Let me break a record and run 120 miles. I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up? You coming to the gym? Hey, I ran 120 miles. You know, as soon as you walk in, like, bro, like, you didn't even bring it up unless I, like, brought it up. Like, I had to, like, ask you, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I thought that was just dope. Like, you was just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Like, just chilling, having regular day, having regular conversation. And then, like, all of a sudden, bro, like, you broke, you know what I'm saying? Like, I brought something up that just triggered you to be like, oh yeah, so I'm standing up, but I'm tired because, this is what happened. You know what I'm saying? It was just like crazy, but like, yeah, I know you're gonna break it, because I can tell you're gonna break it because of just talking to you right here. Like, this whole, like, it's like you have this motivation that you don't typically see in people, bro. Like, you have this motivation to just keep going and pushing yourself and pushing your limits, bro. And I think that's dope. Like, you do not meet a lot of people like that. You know what I'm saying? Me, if I'm throwing up after mile 30, I'm out. Like, I'm done. Like, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it a buck. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that that's dope that you are, because mentally you have to be a different type of beast to be having physical, like, your body's physically telling you, like, yo, like, I am suffering right now, but you still pushing through it, and you got it done, bro, and you broke a record. But like, let's talk about the race. Let's talk about that race and like everything that happened in that race, and then we'll get into some more stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So everything was going perfect. I actually had a partner that was gonna try to run with me. And at mile 15, he actually stopped running because it was too hot. It was very extreme hot conditions. By mile 38, I actually had salt seizures. Justin mentioned earlier that I was having some issues during this race. At mile 38, I actually had salt seizures. Salt seizures are where your body depletes too many minerals, and you've got too much water in it, and you actually lose control of your whole entire body besides your brain. I actually had two individuals that were there, that were medical staff, that actually asked me to stop running, and they actually left because I wasn't going to give up, because I was raising money for cancer, and I was raising also money for PTSD. I ended up raising over $900 for children's cancer and PTSD by the time I finished. But mind you, at mile 38, these individuals wanted me to call it quits. So I went ahead and finished 50 miles. I took a 3-hour nap, woke back up, ate some food, and went ahead and finished another 50 miles. At about a mile 106, My knee, mind you, at 106, I had already been 6 miles past a personal record, and I was already 6 miles past the Dallas County record. My knee swelled up to the size of a softball, and that's another thing that Justin was kind of talking about and elaborating about on why I was complaining about standing up is at 106 miles, my knee doubled in size, and I looked at my crew and I said, we're going to fucking go back out there. And they tell me no. And I say, well, guess what? You don't have to come with me, but I'm going back out there.
He said, I'm a G.
Yeah.
We doing it.
So for 3 hours, I walked on a knee that was literally the size of a softball. And where most people would probably sit down, I was able to cover that other 14 miles with a baseball-sized knee, softball-sized knee, sorry. And what I can tell you is it wasn't not painful. It wasn't not hurtful. But I had children with cancer, and I had soldiers with PTSD. They're in way worse condition than my freaking swollen knee. So I better make sure that every 43 hours that I signed up for, that I keep on moving. It doesn't matter how fast I move. They wouldn't stop moving. They wouldn't stop fighting cancer. They wouldn't stop fighting PTSD. So I'm not going to stop fighting this pain in my knee either. So I pushed myself and pushed myself. And by the time I got to the end of it, I was slightly physically and able to move my leg. But I was able to cover 120 miles. I was able to fully set a record. My sponsors, 8 Beer, were able to do a collaboration video that they are launching for a commercial in Dallas, Texas for their beer, which hopefully you guys will catch. Remember, 8 Beer. I'll get you guys on it, and Justin's going to get on it too. Don't worry. We're going to be team collabing on
He's
that.
manifesting it right now. Manifest.
Absolutely.
Gas me up, baby.
So we're gonna get 8 Beer, and we're gonna get them to sponsor Mr. Justin soon, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about that.
Hey, hit me up, baby.
And at the end of the day, a lot of these races, and just like the 100-mile race, with all the support and all the things and all the fundraising that I did, I to this moment today sat in a hot bath and thought about how I'm going to run 200 miles by December. I've learned in life that to be able to continue to grow, it's not that I even can think that I can accomplish 200 miles. It's that you do not need to get comfortable. And if there's anything from everything that I've talked about today, or anything in any of the running, or anything that, whether it be the personal relationships or my, running and athleticism, I want you to know that you can absolutely accomplish anything if you put your mind to it, and there's not a single individual that can hold you back except for you. In our daily lives, we all hold ourselves back. What I want you to take from this is that you are in control of your life. There is not a boss. There is not a job. There is not a relationship. There is nothing that controls your success. And the only thing that can is always seeking a little bit better. And that does not mean that you're not fucking badass and you're not successful and you're not amazing as a person. But why not think about 1% to 2% better? Because if you don't hunt the comfort zone and you get that 2% of uncomfort, if you do that for 365 days, holy shit, you're almost 700% better by the end of the year. That is powerful.
Wine is loving this over here. I wish I had the camera on Wine. That boy just over here loving it. My bad.
No, 2% better every day is that much powerful. You're 700% better by the end of the year. So stop holding yourself back, whether it be running, whether it be eating healthy food, having a healthy relationship, spending time with your family, spending time with a son or a daughter. You have the capability and you have the willpower. Put your mind to it, because I know you can do it. Now all you got to do is do it, bro, because you can do it. And that's what I want you to take from this is you are capable of running 100 miles, making your family rich, and being extremely happy every single day. All you got to do is put this baby to it and believe in God, and you'll do anything you want to do.
Dang, dude. Bro, I love the passion with it, bro. So let's talk about passion, bro. how do you get somebody who may not have the passion for running right now? How can they convert? Okay, so like, how about this? Normally, I wait like towards the end of the interview to do the elevator pitch I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So like every episode, I have whoever comes on give like an elevator pitch on what it is that their hobby is, and they try to sell the people on how to run. So like, let's say somebody's listening right now, they haven't really thought about running, or maybe they thought about running but just have not made that extra little, that jump. They haven't made that jump into doing it. You know what I'm saying? In 60 seconds or less, let's hear your elevator pitch for running, bro. Sell us on running, bro. Like, bro, I feel like this is gonna be lit because everything that you've done, like, so far, like, Juan, he's been, like, killing it, dog. He's been, like, bro, I love Juan, bro. He is, like, he's so cool. All right, yeah, but, like, bro, yo, give us an elevator pitch, whoever's listening. Now, first of all, let me stress this, because whoever's listening, like, I don't expect you to run 100 miles. I don't expect you to run 50 miles. I don't expect you to run 13 miles. But, maybe a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, you know what I'm saying? Just for yourself, just to get away from everything, you know what I'm saying? Just to have some time to yourself, just get out and do something that's gonna be good and beneficial to your body and your mind, you know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I've learned from you, just from talking, is like mentally, I can tell this has been like awesome for you mentally. Like, I feel like this has been like, you haven't really talked, like, I feel like we're talking about you running like 120 miles. It's like, that's crazy, like, physically. But, like, I feel like mostly what we were talking about has been mental. You know what I'm saying? So, like, like, that's deep. Like, that's very deep. So, like, on the elevator pitch side of things, let's talk to the person who's been sitting on their couch just watching Netflix in their free time. Absolutely. Can you sell them in 60 seconds or less on trying to get off their couch and go on a run?
I think so. A lot of people forget that when we were younger, just being able to go outside was a simple task. So what I like to try to teach people is recess. When you go out to do something, being running, don't think of it as a task that you're going to run. What I need you to think of is what you're going to get out of it mentally. Because recess is a way to reset. And a way to reset is a way to reevaluate. And a way to reevaluate is a way to reanalyze. And if we reanalyze, we're able to evaluate, and we're able to execute, and we're able to become better. So it's a whole process, and it's step after step. Running isn't running. Running is not just going out there and putting one foot in front of the other. It's figuring out how to get to the finish line. And that's the same thing you're going to do in your daily life, your relationship, and in your job. And I know you can do it there. So guess what? Just go out there and take one step. And then when you take the other step, all of a sudden it's going to follow the suit. And if they keep following suit, all of a sudden you're a mile deep and you're doing something for yourself. And that's the reason why you need to take a run.
Bro, that was a bar, bro. That was so lit. That was like, did you practice that?
No, this
Dang.
This is definitely like, off the rip. This is off the rip.
Oh, that was like,
for real. Like, I solely believe that God has given me the ability to do everything that I'm able to do from the moment that I wake up to the moment that I go to sleep. He gives me all the knowledge, the power, and the ability. I just keep moving.
Bro, that's so dope. Like, but like, all right, I am curious, just like from the physical standpoint of things, running, like, 50, 100, 120, and on your way to 200.
And in
Physically-
between that, I ran a 48-mile race, another 48, and I'm not trying to, but
Yeah.
yes.
I'm sure you have done way more, because I know you have to
Train
you
for
have to
it,
train
yeah,
for
yeah.
it. Yeah, so it's like, you know what I'm saying. So like, physically, what things do you deal with from running that amount?
So I do deal with a lot of lost toenails. I know that sounds disgusting, but a lot of the times I have missing toenails, and a lot of people kind of like, girls mostly are like, your feet are ugly, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Like, running 100 miles is not good on the feet. A couple other things I deal with physically. Personally, I deal with a lot of lower back pain. I used to jump out of airplanes for a job and running.
Or a job? Oh,
In the United States military.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in the military. So in the military, I was a paratrooper, and we would jump out of aircrafts a lot, and it compacts your spine. So after the 100-mile races, I usually have to take 3 days of no moving because I'm not supposed to do that kind of stuff to my spine, but I know I can handle it because God gave me the ability. So like I handle it, but then I have to take 3 days off because my spine is so compressed from like running 100 miles, obviously, that I have to like be stuck in a bed for 3 days because my spine has to stretch itself back out. So it's definitely extremely painful for at least a week or two after you complete a task like that because your brain, like I get migraines because your brain is shaking for 100 miles. Your body goes through the depletion of calories. I depleted over 20,000 calories in 43 hours. As we know, as humans, and you're an ex-bodybuilder, you can't even dumping that, your body physically can't eat 20,000 calories in 43 hours. It physically cannot process 20,000 calories in that time. So it also makes I lose about 10 to 15 pounds every time I run 100 miles. And I have to gain that back because my charisma as an athlete, most people know me as a bodybuilding runner. So I have to be built. Like I have to be strong. I'm not skinny runner, like no muscles. So I'm 4% body fat with 99 pounds of muscle. I'm also running at a harder percentage than any runner in the whole entire industry. And that's what I'm trying to do to change it, is I want to show people that you don't have to be this like no muscle person to run 100 miles. And so many people believe that thought process that like they can't go in the gym and lift 300 pounds and go run 100 miles. I want to be the first entrepreneur and, developer of individuals that understand you can go run 50 miles and lift 1,000 fucking pounds because you're that powerful. That's what I want to teach humans, is that they can do that. And the only way to do that is to continue to show it to them through yourself, right? And I think that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Nice, bro. Before I forget, man, I wanted to get you something, bro. Like one of the things that I try to do with all of my guests is like I want to give them a gift that either like complements their current hobby or introduces them into a new hobby. You know what I'm saying? So whether or not you enjoy this gift or not, you know what I'm saying? The whole theme of this podcast is to like pick up a new hobby. So hopefully you do this and you're like, yo, I like this. So like I figure you're always running and stuff. So maybe this is like something that'll be like more relaxing, something that you can just kind of like chill with the homies and do something like this with. But and it's a huge bag. This is the only bag they had when I bought it from. But like,
Oh yeah, I can definitely use that right there. I need to do some card games, bro. And card games is actually one of my favorite things. You know why? Card games are strategical. They use a lot of the mindset, right?
yeah, so like show it to the camera. It's exploding kittens. There's a game store right down the street from where we live.
Barcade, right?
No. That's a bar.
Oh yeah,
That's-
sorry.
like,
My
no, this
bad.
is like an actual like just a store that sells like board games and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's called House Rules, and so they I try to support local.
Yeah,
And, like, so like
this is
he
badass, man.
he was like, yo, like I told him what was going on. I was like, this dude runs a lot, and yada yada yada. He's like, man, he was like, get him this game. Cause I was like, I don't know if he plays games or not. He may see this and be like, why did he give me this? But like,
No, I play games. I
Yeah.
have at my house, I have this dice that looks like a dice, but it's big like this. And when you open it up, you name it, it's in there. We're talking chess, checkers, cards,
Nice,
like
nice.
everything's inside of it. It's my game cube. I call it game cube because it's literally like a cube. It's pretty cool. So
Okay,
I'm gonna
cool.
add this to it for
Yeah,
sure.
add that in there, bro. He said this is like the new it's popping. He said it's like it's strategic. It's kind of like Uno a little bit, but like Uno-ish vibes, I guess. But it's like it's about exploding kittens, I guess.
Exactly. No, it sounds super fun,
bro.
dude.
So I just try to make sure everybody has something that like introduces them to something new or whatever. But yeah, man. I mean, anything else you want to? So like, first of all, before I forget, like, how can people like find you? Find whatever. I know you have like a personal training business and everything.
Absolutely.
Like whatever you want to plug, shout out, or how people can find you and anything. Like let them know.
Definitely. So a few things I want to go over. I do offer free classes to where you can come check out our class for free. At brave_athletic on Instagram is my page. But you can always come out to Diesel Fitness, which is in Uptown Dallas. You can come catch a free class, 10 a.m. on Saturdays. Just come in, look for Coach Rich. I'll take care of you. Also, if you want to, follow me as a athlete, Rich_the coach. I am sponsored by 8 Beer. So I want you guys, if you have a chance, go out to your local restaurants and try 8 Beer. It is Troy Aikman's beer. It is a Dallas Cowboys, Dallas kind of vibe beer. So again, if you want to test it out, definitely go test it out because we are going to start getting it on the show. We are going to get this show sponsored by 8 Beer.
I hope so.
And the last thing that I do want to shout out is I want to shout out Mr. Justin. I want to thank him so much for just having me and giving me the opportunity to like influence you guys. My whole entire life and God-given goal is to hopefully inspire an individual to not just run, but be better, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally, or financially. And I hope that today that you learn something and you take something from that because this individual gave me the opportunity, not because I have enough knowledge to give to you. So know that if it wasn't for Jay, it wouldn't be here today. So thank you.
I appreciate that, man. And like honestly, bro, I feel like we're gonna have to have you back again, dog, because like you too motivated and like I know you got that 200-mile race coming up later this
December,
year. Bro.
December. Y'all look out. 200 miles in December.
Yeah,
It'll be
man.
the first individual under the age of 30 to ever complete 200 miles. So wish me luck. Wish me luck.
No, he got it. I know, like I can tell you gonna get it, bro. It's gonna be hard. It's an extra 80 miles. Last time I saw you,
Hey,
but
that swollen knee.
yeah, you might have 2 swollen knees, but I know you're gonna push through it. Yo, man, I appreciate you coming through, man, so much.
Thank
bro.
you so much, bro.
Hey,
Blessed,
Yeah,
man. Thank you so
Bless
much.
you too, bro. Hey, yo, y'all listening to Justin Needs a Hobby. Hey, my boy Juan.
The
My
boy,
boy
young
Juan
Juan.
back here, bro. Make sure y'all hit my boy up for any photography or videography needs. And yo, hey, y'all have a good one. Y'all have a blessed day.
Cheers to the chase.
Yes, sir. Bro, wow.